Hello there. So in this video, I'm going to give you the top 5 eBay scams. And this is a mixture of buyer and seller scams. So scams pulled on sellers or pulled on buyers. And I'm going to give you some practical stories, my own personal experiences for most of them, and hopefully tell you how to avoid them. I've made a few lists like this in the past, and I'll leave a link to those down below because they were quite popular and successful, and they've become little kind of communities of people moaning about things that have happened to them on eBay. So please do go and check those out. But I thought it was worth repeating a few of them and indeed adding to the list because eBay has changed since I uploaded that video. Some things unfortunately haven't changed, but it's definitely worth doing an updated list. So let's start at number 5. Item not received. Now I think this one was actually on the original list, but I've got a new story to tell you. So I recently sold a perfume, not because I wear perfume, but I was selling it on behalf of my mum. It was a sort of £50 luxury-ish perfume. We stuck it on eBay, sold it to somebody, they paid for it, I sent it off to them, and a week later I got an email from them saying I haven't received it, and then they opened a case saying item not received. Now this may have been not a scam. You can never be quite certain that it isn't a scam. So they claim the item wasn't received and they asked me to send them the tracking information for the item. And of course, I had sent it by Royal Mail second class, which isn't a signed for service. So there's no tracked stuff at all. You've got some postage on it. It doesn't matter if they receive the item or not. They can open an item not received case and you've got no way of proving that they actually received it. I tried to bluff a little bit, saying, oh yes, let me know when it arrives and you should have to sign for it. But ultimately, I was forced by eBay, when they opened a case, to refund them the £50 in full. I personally have never actually ordered something that was shipped and then not received it. And I've ordered many thousands of things over the years. So I personally think this person did receive it. And I'm a bit pessimistic. The moral of the story, though, is that you should send things by a tracked service. As a matter of course, it's sometimes £1 more expensive. It's a little bit of a bitter pill to swallow, especially if you're selling something cheap. Of course, if you're willing to take that risk with something cheap, then do that. But certainly anything over the value of sort of £20, I will always send it by a service that's got some kind of proof of postage or tracked element. Because as you will see with a lot of the items in this list, if there's some kind of case opened against you, they will side in favour of the buyer and you will lose out. So it's best to protect yourself. Paying for an item twice. So now this one isn't really a scam, but it really felt like a scam and it worked out just fine in the end, but it was very kind of worrying for me when it first happened. So let me tell you what happened. I ordered some computer components off eBay, which I used to build a lovely computer, made a video about it, and it was a very cheap purchase, almost too good to be true. So it was a brand new sealed item that I bought for about £90, when in the shops it's about £130. I kind of wondered, why is nobody buying this really cheap item? Is it too good to be true? Am I missing something? Anyway, I purchased it, took the gamble and thought, well, I'm the buyer, so eBay will protect me. I received the item very quickly. It was brand new, exactly as described, and it worked perfectly. And shortly after, got an email from the seller asking me whether I received it and whether I was happy with it. And I said yes, because I was. And I thought that was the end of it. And then one afternoon, I was walking around and noticed an email saying that a case had been opened against me as a non-paying buyer, which is weird because I did pay for it and I've even received the items. And I checked my emails and there was the PayPal thing, and I got a bit concerned at this point. Is this a scam? I then logged into PayPal and found that the seller hadn't actually claimed or accepted the payment that I had made to them. So I think they were pretty new to PayPal, didn't really know what they were doing. But as a result, I had an eBay, got an email. Hopefully it's not an eBay problem. I had a case opened against me saying I hadn't paid and asking me to pay as quickly as possible. But of course, if I had paid for that item again, I would have paid twice for it. Then the seller could have logged into PayPal and accepted the other payment and been paid twice. And because of the cheapness of the item, it sort of made me feel as if maybe this was some kind of scam. I emailed the seller and said, can you please accept the payment? And eventually they did, and they closed the case and it was fine, and I didn't pay for it twice. But it's something to be aware of, and I'm a little bit surprised, given that eBay and PayPal are kind of so tightly linked, that there is a loophole in the system that allows you to do that. So just be careful, just make sure that they accept the payments. But generally, if you're a buyer, and this is true for everything in this list, eBay will side with you. Non-paying bidder. So this is a scam that is pulled on sellers. And again, it's not really a scam. This really is a clickbaity video. But I recently stuck a graphics card on eBay. My old graphics card, just upgraded my computer, as I've said. There's actually an international shortage of graphics cards at the moment, so I thought it was worth trying to list this graphics card on a 3-day auction style listing, just to see where it would go. And as long as I got more than sort of about 40 quid for it, I was happy. So I stuck it on as an auction and a buy it now or best offer, and eventually somebody bid on it. And in the last few minutes of the auction, and indeed the last minute, I think, the bids shot up to about £62. And my heart sunk when I checked the buyer's feedback and found that they had none. They were brand new to eBay, they'd never bought anything before. But I thought, okay, hopefully this won't be a scam. But I needn't have worried because they never actually paid for the item. Unfortunately, I don't think you can actually stop people with no feedback. You can stop people with negative feedback from bidding on your stuff, but no feedback, you're pretty screwed. So it's unfortunately very easy for an idiot to set up an eBay account, or a kid to set up an eBay account and just start bidding randomly on items, winning them, getting carried away, and then never actually paying for it. And they have to do that sort of 3 times or something before their account gets shut down. So yeah, it's a bit of a problem, and to be honest, my advice, which seems a bit extreme, is just to never list anything by auctions. I always list stuff with buy it now or best offer. That way I can, pick who I sell it to, even if I give somebody with a lot higher feedback a slightly lower price because I trust them more, but it allows me to reject offers from people I don't trust. Number 2, chargeback. Now, this hasn't personally happened to me, but I became aware of it today. If a buyer buys something from you and they pay by credit card, I don't know if you can do that directly. I think you have to still do that through PayPal. But it's actually frighteningly easy for a buyer to contact their credit card company and say, look, I'm not happy with the item. I don't like its quality, or I think it's dodgy, or I think it's a scam. And credit card companies are very eager to initiate chargebacks, so essentially cancel a purchase. So PayPal will then take the money from you, and there's really not a lot you can do without some very time-consuming challenging of the dispute. So yeah, just be very careful who you sell to, essentially. As I kind of alluded to in the last one, I prefer buyers who have been using eBay for years and have got very good feedback. Regarding sort of 100% feedback, if somebody's bought thousands of things on eBay, it's highly likely they may have 1 or 2 negative feedbacks. 100% feedback is the holy grail, but 99% when they've bought many thousands or sold many thousands of things, that's probably safe. And at number 1, the restocking fee. Now this one is a seller scam, although I can kind of see it from both sides. So often on a listing, you'll have things like either returns accepted or no returns. You should really read those things just in case you ordered the wrong item and you want to send it back. I recently purchased a replacement switch for a motorized recliner chair. I bought the wrong thing, essentially. I wanted to send it back. Now, the seller was actually extremely gracious. I posted it back to them. I paid for the postage to send it back, but they actually refunded me without taking the restocking fee, which was clearly described in the listing, something like a 15% restocking fee, just to stop people from buying stuff, sending it back, causing a load of hassle for a seller. Now, I can see that from a seller's point of view. There is nothing worse than, oh, I've changed my mind, I want to send it back, or worse, a buyer actually damaging a product intentionally or unintentionally and saying, oh, I want to send it back. That is a real pain. But at the same time, it comes as a little bit of a shock when you just want to return something that's brand new, you just want to send it back, you haven't opened it or anything. So just be aware of that. If you firstly, if you're a buyer, think, do I actually need this? And if you're a seller, think, am I being fair? And, you can use a little bit of discretion, like this seller did when I bought the Switch. And in fact, I think what may have swayed the seller in this case was that I then bought the correct item from them. So I didn't completely screw them over. So that's just a short list of things that have happened to me recently on eBay. Look out for them yourself. Stay safe when buying and selling on eBay. Have you got scams that have happened to you? Please let me know down below. As always, it's kind of nice if we can get a little bit of a discussion going. Thank you to my loyal patrons who, just for a few dollars a month, get early access to all of my videos. Special thanks to Magnanimous Meg and George Foot, who are extremely generous patrons. Doesn't sound right, does it? Patrons, I don't know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good Christmas, and I shall see you next time for another video.